And then we have our delegates here who are Amanda Phillips. You can see Amanda, she's waving.
Hi.
She's Service Unit
Hi.
Coordinator in Bluffton Hilton Head. We have Isela Reyes, who's our girl delegate. Oh, there's a half a video. You've got it blocked a little bit. There you go. There's Isela waving. And then we have Cliff McBride, our board chair. Those are our 3 voting delegates. I am an alternate. I like to say if for any reason one of the 3 of our delegates cannot serve, then I step in and vote for them. So I'll be attending the meeting the whole time and ready to vote if necessary. What was I going to say? So the whole reason we're doing this is to make sure the delegates hear from as many members as possible. We've had a lot of people who haven't been able to attend the Zoom meetings and have emailed in their comments and questions, because the point here is to make sure that our 3 delegates are as informed about the issues on our council and what our members think, because they're the ones who go and vote on our behalf. So I do have a couple of slides that I want to go through. And since we're a small group, we can, you can ask questions, just kind of make a conversation instead of me, presenting, or we could just talk through and stop me if you have questions. But I'm just going to kind of introduce the topic. So on October 19th, the National Board of GSESC has called a special session of National Council delegates. And that will be Saturday the 19th. The meeting actually starts at noon. And the purpose of the meeting is to vote and consider a membership dues increase for both girls and adults. The current Blue Book of Documents does give the National Board the authority to raise dues by up to 25%, to increase them by no more than 25% within one triennium. 25% would be $6.25 per member, and GSUSA has called a special meeting of the delegates because they want to consider a larger dues increase than just the $6.25. A little bit of background, brief background, and there's a whole lot more on the website, is that GSUSA has been running a deficit for several years. This current fiscal year, they are projecting a $10 million deficit. So they haven't been able to keep up with inflation, and they've been tapping into their operating reserves. And of course, that's not a long-term sustainable proposition. Also, GSUSA has a long list of items that they would like to implement. Yes. Yes.
If they were in this kind of financial bind, why were not, I don't know about everybody else, but why were not the local Girl Scouts troops notified? Why weren't we given any information? Because this doesn't make sense.
Yes, we've known, Bessie, that they've been running at, so they have $100 million budget, roughly. And this year they're running the largest deficit they've run at about 10 million. They've been running closer to $4 million deficits. They've been cutting expenses, trying to make ends meet. And so we've known, if you looked at GSUSA's financials, you know that they were tapping into operating reserves. This year, 10% is the highest they've done. So it's not a complete surprise, but the conversation around increasing membership dues has been kind of tabled during pandemic because they didn't feel like that was the right time frame. If you also recall, we've been through 4 national CEOs in the last 5 years at GSUSA, so there's been a lot of change. I
Mhm.
mean, I'm not defending, I'm just trying to give you the whole lay of the land. I don't think it's anything you don't know.
Right.
Um, so this is where we are today, is the membership dues proposal increase. And so let's just dive into that. It will be, the proposals are going to be separated into proposals for the girl membership dues and then a whole separate voting on adult membership dues. The method is, I don't know if you've looked at it, but the method of voting is going to be a fill in the blank method. So in other words, typically what you see is that the proposal would be that the national dues for girl membership dues are going to be, $85. And then the delegates vote yes or no. It either passes or not, and you're done, right? Unless there's any amendments. What they're doing with this fill in the blank motion is that they are allowing delegates to propose a number, so a fill in the blank number. And that's where you see here, girl members pay annual dues of blank. And so at the meeting, you may have, say, 6 different numbers that were proposed, anywhere from, who knows, what, $25, $35 to $100. The national board, what this means is that the national board is going to propose $85 for girls. So that will be one of the fill in the blank items. Say there's 6 of them, okay? And then nobody makes any more proposals for a number. Then the delegates will debate each of those numbers separately, right? So there'll be a full debate around each number. And then after all of the debate, then the delegates will vote. Say there's 6 numbers. Each delegate will vote on the one that they like the best, okay? And if there's 6 numbers and one of the numbers gets a majority, then that will be the number that goes into the proposal, the final proposal. If none of them get a majority, there's a process for continuing to vote and like removing the one that got the least number of votes and going on. So there'll be a process where you get down to just one number. And then when you get down to one number, there will be a final vote of the delegates to either pass that number or fail that number. And it's a simple majority to do that. It doesn't require 2/3. Does that make sense?
It doesn't make no sense, but what doesn't make sense is just increasing dues from $25 for girls to $85. That's over 300%.
Yeah.
And that does not make sense.
That
Why they want to penalize the poor little innocent Girl Scouts? If a parent has 2 girls, you're talking about $170 per girl. She has 3 girls, you add another $85.
right.
And I don't know about those other girls, but in this community, we cannot afford that. So the way it appears to me, they want to eliminate Girl Scouts as a whole, and perhaps maybe somehow where every girl will not have an opportunity to be a Girl Scout.
Yeah.
That because right now many of our girls, I don't know about everybody else, but in Service Unit 643, we struggle sometimes with, getting girls in before we had the option that we use our product sales money to support their dues, and that's been helping. And it's still not getting us the membership that we wish to have because of the other programs in the local communities that are going on, that our girls are involved in, and they have that choice. But now when you put a dues for a girl, $85, over 300%, I don't know whether Girl Scouts in this area is going to continue. Unless maybe that's their mission.
Well, thank you for your comments, Bessie. I no surprise, you are not the only person to express that opinion. There are a lot of our members very concerned about the burden that this puts on families and what this will mean for our membership. So this is not the first time the delegates have heard that. And it's not the first time they've heard it with as much passion as you tell us that. And I appreciate you saying that. I am not here to either defend or, this motion. I'm just trying to tell you what it is so that we can hear from all of you. Okay.
Okay.
But I hear your concerns. One of the things that when I went around at fall product training and trained is I let people know that our council is in a very strong financial position to be able to apply financial aid for any girl that needs it. So what I've been telling people that is no matter what comes out of October 19th, then as a council, our next move is to get together and talk about how do we best distribute and make financial aid available so that we don't lose any girl, right? And we've heard a lot of discussion about the family that has more than one girl, because the two votes that will happen will be girl membership and adult membership separately. So right now, the proposal that GSUSA is making for adult membership fees is $45. We've heard from a lot of people that will affect how many parents are active in the troop, right? Other thing that I have let everyone know is that our council has done Lead on Us since I've been here. So we're going into our 7th year of this. And that's where we pay for the membership dues for anyone who leads or co-leads a troop and their background check expenses. And we will continue to do that at whatever the new rate is.
May I ask you another question?
Sure, Bessie.
The current money that we pay for membership dues, I understand that the entire $25 goes to the national.
That is correct.
Our local councils charge that extra $5 so that we could have a local membership fee.
Yes.
So we're not even benefiting. Our girls don't benefit from the $25 that we send, and now they want to increase us another 300%.
Right.
And we're not going to receive any benefit. Why should our local council suffer because of other problems that exist that is beyond our control?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. And again, I'm not defending. I will show you. I love you, Betsy. I know you too well. I don't want to sound like I'm defending. What I want to do is try to educate you, because believe me, we all have the same concerns.
But because I remember when our council was in the red.
Yes.
We were in the red. And what we didn't go around, we charged a few dollars more dues, but it wasn't to this extent. We did what was within the legal ramification. Now they want to eliminate what's already on record, to change that so they can do what they want because they're in the hole, and we never benefited anyway from any of the funds that they already received through the local councils.
Well, this chart does show the initiatives that GSUSA would like to, whoops, hang on, my finger is not working right. This chart does show the initiatives that GSUSA would like to spend extra funds on to try to elevate the whole movement across the whole country. I mean, that is their objective by this membership dues increase. It's not just to make themselves financially solid, it's to also implement these initiatives to help elevate Girl Scouting nationally.
But we do these things in our local council.
We do a lot of these, but these are intended to be national efforts, not just local efforts.
Still no reason to increase the dues.
Okay.
Because you talk about
you yes, I hear you, and I am totally not surprised by this conversation. In fact,
because seriously, they're gonna do this for each Girl Scout. Set up a whole packet of information. I mean, books and so forth. Each girl will get this. Because what I understand is just for a one-time thing.
Now, what are you referring to? The Girl Experience Box?
No, these incentives you talk about, they'll give to the Daisy, the Brownie, to the troop. The little book, like the books they give, you know, the little
Yeah.
journeys?
No, the only programmatic materials that are built into this that would be provided by GSUSA is right now, if you are a new Daisy troop, as a leader, you get the Girl Experience box for your daisies. You get like a series of 8 boxes of supplies and things you need to run a Girl Scout troop for 8, for the first year. We are part of that pilot. We have our new Daisy troops receiving that now.
I remember.
And yeah, so that's called Girl Experience Box. So one of the initiatives is to expand that Girl Experience Box, and that's 100% funded by GSUSA right now. One of the initiatives is to expand that Girl Experience Boxes to beyond daisies, to go into brownies and maybe, on to help make the volunteers' job easier.
All right, to me, still
But
not.
I hear you. In fact, Bessie, you will like this chart too. I'm going to share another chart because we've looked
All
at.
right, go ahead.
This is our council's median household income. So our girls, this is where we fall in our girls. So the bulk of our girls live in households with an income from 50,000 to 75,000. And quite a bit more just above or below that. Just so you have fact, and this chart is on our website as well too. It gives you a little bit more data about our girls. And of course and this was done by zip code. So, of course we have zip codes that are in higher demographic income and lower demographic, but this is where our council falls. And that's on the website if you want to see that too. All right. Anything else you want to add? I wish we were sitting over a cup of
I'm
coffee.
just serious. I'm just speaking out for girls along the part of shame, and I'm speaking out for girls, period.
I know you. I know where your heart lies. I've known you for 6 years.
Because coming up next year, I would have served 45 years as an adult volunteer leader only.
Yeah.
And I love Girl Scouts, and I like to see our organization continues because I see the positive impact it places on our girls.
And in
our
those
girls don't go out
years,
and use our girls don't go out and become criminals and that kind of stuff because they have taught great character skills and they understand.
Without a doubt.
Now, I don't know. This is not going to benefit us at all.
Well, our objective as a council is no matter what the number is, then it becomes our objective to make sure that every girl that wants to be a Girl Scout can and will be a Girl Scout. Because we are very strong financially. You mentioned the cookie program. Troops earned $1.2 million in cash for their troops. And a lot of troops already use that to re-register girls. We're in a very strong position. I don't know if you realize we're staying at a $4 box for cookies next year, one more year.
Okay. But that's good news. I like to hear that.
Yeah. And that's because we're in such a strong financial position. We can do that. We will be the only place in the country.
But only maybe 10 years ago, we were not. So we ran into
understand that.
too.
Yeah.
So you always have to maintain that seed money and that cushion. So when tough times come, and I know COVID was a tough time. Where a lot of troops wasn't operating, a lot of things was not happening. The cookie sales were slow, and all your product sales. I realized all that was slow.
Yeah.
So during that period, like with everything else, seemed like there could have been a halt in expenditures because there was not in use.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to think about.
I hear you.
Because the money that I had, for example, in my Girl Scout troop account remained there because there was no reason to use it for any purpose.
Right.
So
well, and as a council, we're very similar to that. We actually did pretty well during pandemic because we kept our staff intact, controlled our expenses, and we're sitting right now on 2.5 years of operating reserves. So we have the opportunity to do things and structure so that we don't lose our girls.
You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
And yeah, but we got to be thinking about what's sustainable, right? How can we
Right.
sustain that for a lot of years?
Exactly.
Mhm.
At $85, before you know it, you paying an 85 Girl Scout dues at $85. You're
Yep.
not gonna be having much money in
Yep.
another year, under 5 years. That money gonna be depleted. So
Right.
we have to think long term, not just for 1 year.
I agree.
So I think this is a big picture. The
Mhm.
USA need to rethink their policy, especially to ask for such, to me, an outrageous increase.
Yeah.
Diane, we
Uh-huh.
actually had this discussion earlier today, and I was asked if GSUSA hired a consultation group to project this proposal.
For in terms of what? In terms of what will happen to membership size?
Just in general, like just with our past businesses, we've always had a consultation group that has come in to see how to better manage our finances or how to get out of our deficit. And usually the result of that is like closing branches or, laying off people or, so I didn't know if GSUSA hired a consultation group that made this recommendation.
I am not aware of that.
Okay.
I am not aware of that.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't aware either.
Being such a numbers person, and y'all have known me long enough to know that I think in numbers, the numbers around this national budget concern me.
Mhm.
They always have. They always have. The size of this budget has always concerned me.
Same.
And that's not a surprise for people who know me. I've said that, but they have, I mean, GSUSA does have big goals and big ambitions, and with that comes big spending. We had a CEO meeting yesterday where we talked about nothing but this. And CEOs are all over the map on this, all over the map on this. I really can't predict what October 19th will bring. And a lot of the frustration is around, well, what initiatives are you prioritizing? What do you think you're going to do next? What is it going to cost? There are no answers to that. They don't even know what things are going to cost. So we will be gathering Monday after this meeting in Detroit, all the CEOs and board chairs, to start the discussion about, okay, here's what we have. How do we prioritize this?
Right.
But it's not there yet, Amanda. It's not there yet.
Okay. Is there still the talk? I know we talked about this on our last webinar last week, but is there still like a buzz about tabling this, a proposal to table this to the next session?
I haven't seen it anymore. I saw a lot of CEO talk about that, but I haven't seen any discussion lately on it. I mean, people have just kind of said their minds, and every CEO is now doing Zoom gatherings and trying to get feedback, and just like we are, just listening to their people, And a lot, Bessie, and the CEO call got on and said, my girls can't afford this. My families can't afford this. I mean, you are not the only one saying that. You are not the only one saying that.
And another thing, I was just thinking, let us handle what they're talking about, just giving those journey books to the troop.
Yeah.
That could be done by the local your local councils, because we're doing that already.
Yeah.
So why are they if they're gonna increase our dues so they can send us, let that come back, so certain things fall back to the council. And that's an expense that they don't have to have, because with $85, they're gonna send out some books. How is that gonna help them fix the problem? By sending out material. Because that costs. you and I know.
So the high level things they're talking about, Bessie, are shoring
Okay.
up technology, because we have
Mhm.
technology issues.
Mhm.
They're talking about national paid marketing campaigns so that more people understand the value of Girl Scouts. I mean, you talk about how you know, because you've been in it for 45 years, the impact that we have on girls. Not, people don't understand that. So they're talking about a national paid marketing campaign. They're talking about shoring up technology. They're talking about expanded older girl programming, maybe extension of the girl experience box, just a whole lot of different things to help elevate the movement overall.
That's where your money going right there in marketing and this stuff you talking about.
Yep.
Do that in bite-sized pieces. As you build up your, you know, your financial base, then you begin to increase those things. But you talk about jumping off at the top and you already in the rail to do all these things. All you doing is digging a deeper hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Well,
That's important. But I believe the Girl Scout mission and problem, I mean, mission and situation is out there. It's been out there since the existence of Girl Scouting. You know,
right.
over the years, it's been out there. So I don't think that's the problem. So that's where
Yeah.
your money going. Marketing. We're supposed to be a charitable nonprofit organization about building girls and building girls' character. And now you're talking about and increasing the program, and you already in the red. Millions of dollars.
Well, like I said, based on what happens on October 19th, then GSUSA will be making decisions about what can they do with it, right?
Mhm.
And what I would have loved to have seen, Amanda, is some really good modeling on, if we think dues are going to be 65, what is that going to do to our membership, right? We have 1.1 million girls. How many girls do we really think we're going to have at each one of these new membership levels? And then what does that do to the bottom line financials? I would love to see that, you know, like some big spreadsheet that forecasts all of that. They really, you know.
And another thing, when you come down to product sale, that's usually built on the girls and their enthusiasm about selling cookies. Because for example, this year, my troop did extremely well with about 12 members.
Yeah.
And next year, it may not be the same. So I may not have the funds to pay an $85 for each of my girls for selling cookies.
Well, you never know what's
It
going to
comes and
happen in a
goes.
cookie season.
I mean, for the product sale, period.
Yeah, I always worry about, oh my gosh, a peanut butter crisis or can't get, inventory crisis.
Yeah, you got
a lot can happen. But we are going to be a $4 box. Orangeburg will love it.
I love it. That sounds good to me because many people have been talking about it. They're excited. So when I can tell them that, oh wow, that's great news.
Yeah.
Because they were saying, why go up with the box of cookies? That's what they was asking. I said, now, this may be our last year at this price, so you better store.
Well, it's yeah. We thought we were going to have to go up, but we're not. One more year.
But that's wonderful. That is fantastic news. So if a little council, now you say our girl membership in South Carolina is about 1 million.
Oh no, in the country it's 1.1 million girls.
All right, what about South Carolina?
We're just over 3,000 troop girls.
So if we can do what we do with 3,000 girls, and they got 1 million, and something is not right in the picture.
Yeah. Well,
management, budgeting.
Bessie, you need to go to New York City.
That's where the problem was.
Linda's giving you a
That's where the problem was. Management. Management messed us up. They need Cliff and you and all the rest of you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I don't want to keep you guys any longer. Is there anything else? I mean, we get what you're saying.
On behalf of Service Unit 643, we definitely oppose this proposal.
Okay, we hear you, Bessie. We hear you. Lachey, anything else you want to add? Any questions?
We had our local meeting on Monday night.
No, I think Miss Betsy hit it all.
Yeah. We love her. We
I'm
love
so
you.
glad I was able to make this, but the prior meetings were conflicts for me.
Hey, the other thing, was it Francis that asked Aggie to put lifetime membership? Oh, no, it wasn't Francis. It was Jorenda Doctor. Who asked us to put lifetime
Jorenda.
membership? It was Jorenda. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember who it was. Okay. We, in the cookie proceeds, we did build in a prize for senior Girl Scouts for us to pay for their lifetime membership. So,
That's good.
That's one of the incentives.
yeah. Mhm.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah. You got to be a graduating senior to get it though. You can't buy it like as a cadet.
I got it. Do they have to sell a certain number of boxes?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think we put it up against resident camp. I think.
Oh.
Aggie, do you remember?
Yes, it's against resident camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
And everybody will talk about the incentives this year too. We need to make those better. Throw in some
Better.
something.
Well, we
Everybody
actually
talk about
did.
that.
We
Throw in
actually
some
did
t-shirts or
budget.
something.
Yeah, we did. We heard that too, Bessie, and compare our incentives to other councils. But we also
I understand.
put more
But
money
you know,
into
when you spoil us,
incentives.
when you spoil us with nice gifts, and then all of a sudden we go back with
I
what
love that. You
say?
say I spoil you with nice gifts. Aggie works very, very hard. We work very hard on those cookie incentives.
And I do the best I can, and I work extremely hard just to make this keep this work. I think Francis and I, you
Yep.
know, for this service unit, we do our best to keep everything moving.
And you've been doing it for a long time. And it looks like you still got
A
lots of
long
energy
time,
left.
along with Miss Bessie People, along with Miss Bessie People. You notice you got two Bessies in there.
Wait, two Bessies.
Two Bessies. Can you imagine if both of us was online tonight?
I can't even. Can't even.
Well, thank you so very much.
Oh my goodness. Anything
right.
else y'all want to add? Any of the delegates have anything you guys want to add?
Come
The
on,
only thing,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Amanda.
Oh, I was just gonna add that, I did, poll a lot of our Girl Scouts, in our service unit, just to hear what they had to say about this.
Good. Yeah.
And many of them said, they understand a need for an increase.
Mhm.
But of course, as many have voiced, 85 is too much.
Yeah.
And then they, came to a consensus that if there were to be an increase, then it should be $50.
Okay.
And it should be the same for adults and youth.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I found
Very
that very, just to kind of
That is
simplify it.
interesting. Yeah.
And then they had a question because they noticed that the increase would primarily go to technology and marketing.
Mhm.
And their big concern was about our trademark and how that's already being used for national brands. And
Right.
if we are getting any profit off of that.
Council do not. All of that goes to GSUSA. All of it.
And so their question was, how much actually do they get
Ooh,
for
I think
trademark rights?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think that's in some of the Q&As proposals because that's
Yeah.
been asked.
So
And in
I'll
fact,
look that up.
I don't remember the number. I don't want to tell you for sure because I don't want to give you the wrong number, but it has been growing significantly over the last couple of years. So it's not an insignificant number. I think it's double-digit millions.
Okay.
May
Thank you.
I ask you, Amanda, you talking about girls throughout our council or just from a select area?
Just from Southern Beaufort County.
Yeah.
See, that's not a fair assessment.
No,
Well-
no, this is just my service unit. I just asked our service unit.
And see, I'm in service unit 643 and we are poor.
Yes.
We can't afford that.
Well, and yes, we've heard from, I appreciate you doing that, Amanda. And Amanda understands that this is just a small slice. She's just an
Yes.
opportunity to talk to girls. I think it's great. I think it's
Well,
great.
yeah, and they're voicing their, and that's a great thing because I think they
Yep.
should be involved in this process.
Yep. I would highly recommend Bessie and Lachey that if you have the time, go back and listen to one or both of the recordings with the larger group, you'll see that you are not alone in your.
They're on, you said they're on our website?
Or on our website, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Eastern South Carolina website, okay.
Eastern South Carolina website, yes.
All right, okay.
Yeah, Bessie, if you'll just go to, when you log in, just not log in, but when you go to the website, it says breaking news at the top, and just click on that and then scroll
Break the
down to the
news?
recording.
You said break the news?
Breaking news at the
Breaking
top.
news.
Okay,
It's an orange bar at the top.
thank you.
All right. Well,
You're
we'll give,
welcome.
oh, it's already 6:43. We'll give you ladies some times back. I guess unless there's any other comments, but I guess when we're done, I'd love for the delegates to stay on so we can kind of talk about what else we might need to do between now and October 19th. Okay.
All right, thank you so very
Thank
much.
you,
I'm glad
Bessie.
I
It's
was able to
always a
share your
pleasure.
conversation.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
I feel, and guess what? I feel so special.
This
I feel super
is
special.
almost like a one-on-one
A
conversation.
one-on-one conversation. Exactly. Thank you so very much. And I'll see you at our product sales meeting.
Okay, very good.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye.